నిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేశారా? One-way data binding, the one-way data binding, string interpolation, property binding, and event binding. These three examples, have you practiced it?
Yes.
Others?
Sir, yesterday I didn't join the class. Today I will practice.
Yeah, okay. These three are yesterday we discussed. Means one-way binding. In the one-way string interpolation, it will bind the data from class component to the template. And property binding, it is also, it will bind the data from class component to the template it will bind. So for a HTML attributes, those properties are not a non-string data variable. For those variables we can bind the property binding with the square brackets. Array literals we will use it, and one property will provide for a property binding. And event binding, in HTML one event we will provide for a button event or change event or any for input on mouse out or mouse over, any other event. So all are the events. For that particular event we need to provide event name. This event name we should be declared inside the TypeScript file. So here we need to write the logic and we need to execute the logic when event is triggered, this particular button. So these three yesterday we discussed. And today I'm explaining about two-way data binding. It means vice versa, it will bind the data, TypeScript file to the HTML, HTML to the TypeScript. So here I will declare a syntax for a two-way data binding. Square brackets, property bindings, ng model. Means it is a combination of property binding and event binding. It is called, we can call it as a two-way data binding in Angular. See, we are getting a ng model. This is the two-way data binding syntax. Here I will write one input for this two-way data binding. So when user is entering something, so the same value should be displayed in the this template as well. Input type is equal to text. What is the syntax of ng model? Property binding, and is a combination of event binding, ng model directive, and here we need to provide I will provide text input, one variable I have declared. These text input variable we need to declare it inside the TypeScript file as well. The return type of anything, whatever it may be, I will provide any data type. So initially it is empty, and now we are getting an error. Just go to the inspect in the console. Reload prevented. One other message, error message should be displayed here, because we are not using a text input. Okay. So here it won't work because we have used a ng model directive, but to work this one we should use forms module. We need to declare inside the module.ts file, then only it will work. That message should be displayed here. Okay. In the module.ts file, we need to declare within the import section forms module. This will automatically import it, save it, see. So now it is working. I am getting a input. I'm entering something. See, whatever the user is entering here, the same content should be displayed below of the input or beside of the input. That is the two-way data binding. Means, so in the template, user is entering something, so it should update to the component. From the component we need to access it and we need to bind it in the template. అంటే ఇక్కడ యూజర్ ఇన్పుట్లో ఎంటర్ చేసిన వాల్యూ టైప్ స్క్రిప్ట్ ఫైల్లో ఉన్న వేరియబుల్ ఏది మనకు టెక్స్ట్ ఇన్పుట్ అనేది ఇచ్చాను నేను. సో ఆ ఇన్పుట్ అనే వేరియబుల్కి అప్డేట్ అవ్వాలి. ఇక్కడ అప్డేట్ అయిన వాల్యూని మనము HTMLకి అగైన్ వి నీడ్ టు రిట్రీవ్ బ్యాక్. టెక్స్ట్ ఇన్పుట్ని ఇక్కడే మనము ప్రింట్ చేయాలి. సో అది ఎలా అంటే so non-breaking space I will provide, and here I will declare one span. Inside the span I will bind this value, means text input. See, initially nothing to display, means for text input value variable I have provided nothing. Simply I have declared one variable and I am utilizing it. See. Printing here. So when I am see, this is the two-way data binding. It means whatever the user is entering here, that should update it from the template to the class. From class property, we need to bind it into the HTML. What we have did by using ng model directive, we can achieve the two-way data binding. This is the syntax for a ng model, means two-way data binding, equal to one variable name we need to provide it for a input. This text input variable should be declared inside the TypeScript file. Initially it is empty. Suppose I will provide initial value is Angular 12. See, this is the Angular 12. I have removed and 9 I will provide. It will update. This means, see, initially text input variable value is containing Angular 12. So that variable value we are accessing and binding in the HTML by using ng model directive. See, same variable we need to bind here by using a interpolation binding here, the same property variable. Then we can able to access the same value. See, for this input, when user is entering something, the same value will update it to the text input variable. The same value we can able to access it in here for a span tag. Here we are doing same thing. This is the two-way data binding example. So here, to work with the two-way data binding, we need two mandatory things. One is forms module. Inside the module.ts file, we need to import the forms module and declare it. We need to import and declare it in the import section. First condition. Next thing is by using ng model directive. It should be in the same format. It's like it is a combination of property binding and event binding. When we are providing these two things, so our logic will be working. This is two-way data binding. Hi guys, do you have any doubts in the two-way data binding? Anyone?
No, bro.
చెప్పు అశోక్.
No, ఏం తప్పలేదు. Okay, clear.
ఏంపా?
No doubts or not?
No doubts.
Okay. This is the two-way data binding. And one more pending binding is style binding. Yeah. So in the style binding, we are having a ng style and ng class. bindings we are having. ng style ante we can bind the CSS styles to the inline element. On single element we can provide multiple inline styles to the single element. That is called ng style data binding. And one more thing is ng class. So dynamically, if we want to add or remove the CSS classes dynamically, we can use ng class data binding. One by one we can check it here. See. First, in the CSS we can declare like this way. See. We are having a CSS property, so I will provide dot red. Color will be provide red. Dot green. Color green I will be providing. Okay. I have created a two CSS classes here, and for a HTML I'm having a div see here I will provide a class equal to what we have created here, red and green. For one I will provide a red. I will save and I will check this one. See, color is displaying red. This class name should be same whatever we have created inside the .css file. Remember this thing. The same name should be contained here also. See, red and green. Okay, this is the normal CSS styles we have provided here, but I want conditionally I want to provide, if one condition is true then provide red, in another condition I want to provide green, not like this. See, these things are normal one. See, class, all the CSS classes we can provide it. See. The same classes it is containing red, background yellow, italic. Okay, and here ఒక క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ టైప్ స్క్రిప్ట్ ఫైల్లో క్రియేట్ చేశారు. It is containing red, background yellow, italic. It means these properties, whatever we have created inside the CSS file, the same class name should be declared in the class object. See, it means simply we are providing whether it is a true or false. This class object name we need to declare it for a ng class direct. Like this way it will display. So now we will create one object. Dot This is the three properties we have declared, and here we can utilize we are having content 1 I will provide, and here I will provide ng class syntax, that is nothing but this one, and ng camel place ng class. Here we need to provide one class object. Here nothing but see ng model directive కి ఇలా ఇక్కడ వేరియబుల్ ఎలా అయితే మనం క్రియేట్ చేసామో the same variable object also you can create it for ng class as well. This is one object. See here, this is access modifiers, we can call it as in TypeScript. Public means this class object can be accessible in the HTML as well when we are providing a public, but when we are using a private, so it can only accessible within the TypeScript file. So that's the reason we will declare a public before the any class object. So now we are having red, green, italic. So these properties we need to create here. Red object to green, I will provide false, italic, see red is true, italic it is provided, see content is updated. This is nothing but ng class data binding. See, multiple CSS classes we have applied for a single HTML element. See, red, true, green, italic we have provided, and I will provide one more thing. See, it is occupied. this thing. Border also it is applied. Like this way, we can apply multiple inline CSS classes for a single HTML element. We can use a ng class directive. And one more example also I will show you. See. See, here we are having one list item. See, here for these list items, different colors are provided. By using ng class directive, we need to provide a CSS styles to the this particular elements. See, now first we are having one paragraph. It is containing a ng class directive with the color directly like this way we can provide within the object. So this is property is green, means true means, so it will provide a green color. See, this is the green color. Now the beginner courses are colored, all span classes is equal to red. This is nothing but this one is the red. Okay, so now here it is containing one unordered list. In the unordered list, we are iterating all the elements, whatever the element is containing one array, that all the elements we are iterating and we are providing a conditional CSS styles and classes we are providing. So now I will declare here conditional class binding. So here in the conditional class binding, we are having a unordered list. So inside the unordered list, it will be their ordered list or list item we will provide. See, unordered list inside the list item. The list item. So here, when we are iterating this list item, so in JavaScript, what we will use it to iterate any object or array? For loop we will use it, or for in or for off we will use it to iterate arrays. What we are using? For off, property of properties. అదే మనం ఆబ్జెక్ట్ కి అయితే ఫర్ ఇన్ టు ఇటరేట్ ద ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ we are using for in loop, for off loop. But in Angular, so నేను TypeScript ఫైల్లో I don't want to iterate one variable. In HTML, I want to iterate by using a Angular commands. Like Angular bindings, I want to use it and I should provide the binding. That is nothing but ng for structural directive. Or ng for the syntax for a structural directive, ng for, and this is also structural directive only, star ng if. It means if one condition is true, it will display this content. Otherwise, it will hide the content. See. For this image, I have provided a star ng if and one variable. The toggle variable is true, it will display the image. Otherwise, it will hide the image. See. This is the star ng if means structural directive, and one more structural directive is ng for. It means to iterate number of array properties in the HTML, we are using a ng for structural directive. So now here load this. Yeah. So we are having one array, courses array. It is containing a array of objects, name and level we are having. Name, level. So now we will create one array of objects here. Courses, it is an array of objects like this way. We need to create it. So name, I will provide data bindings, level, what we can provide. Okay, immediate I will provide for this one. Here we need to use comma and other object we need to create it. Like this way, n number of object properties we can create inside the courses array. Name, colon, structural directives, level, beginner. See, now first I want to iterate the array. How I can iterate? By using courses variable. See, syntax for ng for directive is let property of properties. So I will provide course of, because we are having a array. So to iterate an array, we are using a of operator for of courses variable. So, ng for equal to, within the string quotes we need to use let, this value will be anything. See, data, value, object, whatever it may be. So according to your convenient, you can mention one name here for accessibility purpose. So I will provide course, meaningful name I will provide. Let course of courses. Courses means array reference we need to provide. This one, this course. Okay, I have provided here. course dot, I want to bind all the data in the HTML. So what I am having, course dot name, course dot level. See, data binding, intermediate, structural directives, beginner. So now I want to provide a CSS styles to this one. Conditionally I want to provide. See, I'm having a name and level, two properties I have created on two array of objects, but I want to provide a styles to the element. Conditionally I want to provide it. See, ng class. What it means? Green should provide for what? Course dot level equal to beginner. Green color we need to provide it. Yellow color should be provided for course dot level equal to intermediate. For advanced level we should provide red color. And size up means true, means here they have provided other CSS class. See, now we can now we need to create a ng class. Ng class to so here we should provide within the strings, like we need to provide a green color for what? Here we are using a course. This name we need to utilize it here. Course dot level equal to means it will checks value, it will checks as well as data type also it will check. Equal to beginner. Yeah. Course dot name we are provided, and list item ng class. See, structural directives for this one, which level is matches to the beginner, so it is providing a one color, green color. So now already we are having other, like intermediate we have provided and advanced one we have not provided. So we can provide for intermediate level. Red color should be provided when course dot level equal to intermediate level. Within the string only need to provide it and paste it here. Yeah, see. So better I will order one, I will remove it. See. So now I will add another two object properties. So name, style bindings, once. So I have added a another two properties I have inserted into an object. See, okay. See. For beginner, green color. For intermediate level, red color I have provided. See, for advanced one, I need to provide another CSS style. So now we need to provide orange color. I will provide course dot level 3 will equal to advanced. So that is not here. I have provided green, red course. Okay. Here So other color will probably yellow only there. So this color is not taking. So intermediate. Okay, these two colors are applying. Other color is not taking that one. Advanced when we are providing intermediate level beginner. Hmm. It's not changing this one. Yeah, okay, you can check it that one later. Level we have not provided properly, I think here. These colors are not taking. Color green. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like this way we can provide a multiple inline CSS classes. We can add or remove it from the class binding. So these are the ng class binding. Multiple styles like multiple CSS classes we can able to apply it for a single class element. This is the ng class binding example. And one more thing, we are having a ng style. ng style binding will be, we are having one style dot color. So directly also we can provide a color. But when we are providing a ng style, so multiple inline styles, if you want to provide it, we can use a ng style binding. ng style binding. ng style. This is the syntax for the ng style. ng style. Here we need to provide a CSS classes. If you want to provide any direct color also, we can provide like this way, style.color is for normal classes. For HTML we will write id classes, right? Style equal to some colors we will provide it, inline style. In the same way we can provide a style.color equal to some value. But here the ng style we can provide multiple inline styles for a single HTML element. We can use a ng style directive, like data binding we can use it. See, color, these CSS properties we can provide here in the TypeScript file. Install CSS. So we'll end here. This is also one object. We need to use color, red, as background color. This one. Okay, everything should be in the background color should be blue. I will provide. Okay. Text hyphen align. I will provide it in the center. Yeah, see, ng style I have provided. Content is displaying in the center of the page. Text hyphen align center I have provided. For background color blue I have provided. You can go here, inspect. See what colors I have provided. Color red. Color normal color means it will provide it for a text color. See, it will be changing the color. Like this way we can provide a color, and here also we can provide a background color. All the styles will be applicable here. We can change it. Okay. I need this color. Okay. Provide this one. We can copy these things if you want. Here we can directly provide here. Okay, so you need to change it because it is an object. For a style binding we are using a object like this, so we need to declare this one. See now. I will provide margin bottom. See, margin 30 pixel I have provided. It means it will take left 30 pixel, first top it will occupy top 30 pixel. See, from ng style content to this border it will occupy the 30 pixel top, 30 pixel right side, 30 pixel bottom and 30 pixel left side. How it will occupy is top, right, bottom, left. So like this way we can provide a CSS style binding, we can use it, and ng class binding also we can provide it. These two are the style bindings in Angular. Okay, and as well one directive also I have explained you. That is nothing but structural directive. So in directive concepts I will explain those things little bit more. Yeah, ng, if and ng for are the structural directives. These things. So now this is today's class. See, for by using ng for directive to provide a CSS for multiple conditions, so you can use a this like this way. One array of objects, create and iterate it all the values from the array, one by one check it. So here they have provided only 3 conditions. Okay, you can check it for a multiple conditions, you can check it. So beginner, intermediate and other conditions also you can provide it and you can check it, that one. So it will provide different styles, it will create it. And see here we have used only one list item, but here it is displaying multiple list items 1 2 3 4. Why? Because we are using a ng for directive here, so it will iterate all the elements from the array and display in the list items. This is the class binding example. Can go through here, both are there, like style binding and normal class binding, how we can use it. refer both. See, whatever I have provided the examples, okay, they have provided a different scenarios. అన్ని ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి. ప్రతి చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కూడా డిఫరెంట్ వేలో ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి. యూ విల్ గెట్ టు నో ద ఐడియా.
ఓకే అన్న.
ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ మండేనే క్లాస్, రేపు క్లాస్ ఉండదు. ఓకే, దానిలోపు ఫస్ట్ create the Angular application. Do one thing, remove the project folder whatever you have created. Okay, install it freshly, a new project setup, create it and create one by one whatever I have provided, like bindings and only bindings I have explained you. Okay. Interpolation, property, event, two-way data binding and style binding. Just practice all these concepts today and tomorrow. So Monday will be the next class.
Hello Anna.
Hello.
అన్న ఇందాక component.ts లో మల్టిపుల్ కలర్స్ చేంజ్ చేస్తే అవ్వలేదు కదా అన్న. ఒకసారి విజువల్ స్టూడియో ఓపెన్ చేయండి అన్న.
ఎక్కడ చెప్పు.
కాంపోనెంట్ ఓకేనా, ఒకసారి పైకి వెళ్ళాను.
ఇదా
component.ts లో అన్న పైనకి వెళ్ళాను ఒకసారి. ఇంకా
ఇక్కడ ఇది ఇది జస్ట్ ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ లో వాల్యూస్ ఉన్నాయి అంతే.
ఓకేనా, అక్కడ స్క్రోల్ చేయండి అన్న పైనకి. వెయిట్ అన్న, ఇక్కడ పబ్లిక్ క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ లో రెడ్ ట్రూ ఇచ్చామన్న 27, 28 ఆర్ లైన్ లో.
ఇది గ్రీన్ దా, గ్రీన్ నేను
గ్రీన్
ఫాల్స్
లో
ఇచ్చాను ఎందుకంటే
ట్రూ ఇవ్వండి అన్న ఒకసారి. ట్రూ ఇచ్చి
రెడ్ ఇచ్చాం కదా, రెడ్ ని ఇక్కడ గ్రీన్ హైలైట్ చేస్తుంది అంటే ఓవర్ రైడ్ అవుతుంది అది.
ఓకే
చూడు
ఇప్పుడు ఎల్లో ఇచ్చి చూడండి అన్న ఒకసారి.
ఇస్తాను. ఏది నువ్వు చెప్పు, నువ్వు చెప్పింది ఇప్పుడు ఎన్జి అది
కలర్స్ అన్న, కలర్స్ చేంజెస్.
క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ తోనే.
అవునవును,
కంటెంట్ 1కి ఉండేది. ఓకే, ఇదిగో సి
ఓకే ఓకే,
ఓవర్ రైడ్ అవుతుంది అది. సో ఇప్పుడు అదే నువ్వు వేరే ఏదన్నా క్లాస్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేయాలన్నా కూడా ఇక్కడ ప్రొవైడ్ చేయొచ్చు.
ఓకే ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ. టెక్స్ట్
ఇక్కడ చేంజ్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, సో ఇవి 1 by 1 మీరు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తేనే మీకు అర్థమవుతుంది. ఇది కూడా ఇది నార్మల్ ఎన్జీ క్లాస్. ఓకే, ఇది ఒక లీస్ట్ ఐటమ్ అన్ఆర్డర్డ్ లిస్ట్ యూజ్ చేసి ఎలా కండిషన్గా ప్రొవైడ్ చేయొచ్చు మల్టిపల్ సిఎస్ఎస్ క్లాసెస్ అనేది ఇవి. ఓకే, సో ప్రతి ఎగ్జాంపుల్లో ఇంపార్టెంటే, ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి అన్నీ. సరే, ఓకే అయితే.
Fine.